With the pen tool practice handout, we're going to download that by clicking on it on Google Classroom, clicking on the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, and then going to open a new window. From here, we're going to click on the download button, and then we're going to open up Illustrator. If you don't already have it open, you can search for it down here and find Adobe Illustrator 2024. We'll go to Illustrator, and then I'll go to Open to find my downloaded form here. Let me make sure I save it. There we go. Go to Open, Pen Tool Practice. It's okay, click OK. If you get an error message, no big deal. I hide that. And now here is the template. Now in the instructions here, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see it says using the pen tool, trace over the shapes, simply click to create an anchor point. These little boxes are what we call anchor points. Those are an example of an anchor point. And then it says click again to create a path. A path is basically anything like this, right? That's a path. We're creating a path with these anchor points. We're telling the program where we want our line or shape to show up. And then it says click, hold with your mouse, and drag to create curves. So what that means is if I click with my pen tool and then I click and hold and drag, that's going to give me the ability to create curves. So clicking and holding creates curves. Just clicking will create straight lines. I'm going to go back here. Okay, so we're going to start off with just the regular pen tool right here. I'm going to go ahead and go down to our triangle, and from here we can just click, 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 and we're going to go back to that first point and click, and it should cover up that triangle. Over here under our properties and color, we can change the color of our fill. So I'm going to just give it a different color. We'll just do maybe kind of this reddish pink color. You can also turn the stroke on and off if you want to, or keep it if you want a colorful stroke. I'll just keep it for now. All right, next one is very similar, just a few extra points. So click, 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 and we just keep going around, trying to aim for the center of those points back to the beginning here. And it's okay if it's a little bit off. It's not going to be perfect because we're just clicking random points basically and to create our shape. The cool thing is though in Illustrator is you can move that off. You can adjust things too if you need to, resize things as necessary. Now the circle always throws students off at first, and a lot of times what happens is they click here, and then they click here, and then they click here, and they're like, wait, there's no curve. And the reason why there's no curve is because we actually have to click and hold with our mouse, and we're going to drag our mouse downwards while holding the mouse to about there. We're looking, if you can see there, the preview. We're looking for that preview to kind of match the curve of the circle. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It's really hard to do a perfect circle this way, but I just want you to try it, okay? And then from here, it's going to automatically assume we're going to keep curving that. We're going to complete the curve by clicking here. Once again, we're going to click and hold with the mouse. This time we're going to drag upwards because we want the curve to be lower. And then we'll finish off our circle here. Now again, this is not what I would call a perfect circle, but it's a good starting point. If you want to go in and adjust anything, you can click on this tool here, the direct selection. If you click on the points, that will let you actually move things. You can move these handlebars around if you need to make any adjustments at all, like so. So pretty simple. From there, we're going to move on to this more organic shape using the curvature pen tool. So curvature pen tool is here. And we're just going to start anywhere. It doesn't matter. You can go any direction. You just have to remember wherever you start, you're going to travel in that same direction until you end up at the beginning. So I'll start here. I'm going to go to the right. Curve this over. The curvature pen tool, I just have to click with. And if you get to a point like this where you can't see the point underneath, we're going to drop down our opacity. That's under the appearance panel. So if you can't see that, you just go to a window appearance and that will show up. I'll click on this one, and then we're going to end at that first one. Now this is a little off just because I think I clicked my points not quite in the center, but that's okay. I'm going to drag that back up for the opacity. This is what I would still accept. This is still an acceptable shape. So that was using the curvature pen tool, and the curvature pen tool is nice for shapes like that, more organic shapes. But this one has a combination of a curve and straight lines. Generally, if there's a combination, we're going to just use the normal pen tool. So as we did before with our straight lines, we're just going to click, 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 click. And then once we get to our curve, we're going to click and hold to try and match that curve as closely as we can. Helps if we keep our handles horizontal. Those are the blue little toggle lines there that I'm holding on to. And then I will finish it off by clicking on that last one. So there's the curve and then the straight lines. This one is very similar, except there's two curves, a little more complicated. So same thing, pen tool, we're going to click, click. Here, since it's a curve, we're going to click and drag, holding with that mouse. And then we'll continue on to that point. We'll go up to the top here again. Once again, we can't see where we need to go, so we're going to lower that opacity just a little bit so we can see. Click and drag. And then same thing with that last point, and we can bring that opacity back up. That looks pretty good. And then we move on to some more complicated shapes. Once again, the regular pen tool. You can do all of these with the regular pen tool, FYI, but I wanted you to know about the curvature pen tool. So this one, since it's a point here, we're just going to start by clicking. One click. And then you kind of have to decide how many points you're going to have. You could have a lot of points, but I'm going to go right about here. We're just going to start there, and I'm going to click and drag to make that gentle curve. Okay. Same thing with the next one. So I'm going to click and hold here. We're just following the curve of this moon shape. Click and hold. So I already kind of made it for me here. So I'll click there, click and hold. And then I could probably just do one point there. It's a fairly straight line. Bring that opacity down again. You're going to get really good at that. Click and hold to make that curve. It's a good idea as well to pay attention to your handles, right? If you drag your handles down, that's going to adjust the shape of that curve. So really pay attention to that. Sometimes if your handle is too long, that can cause some issues. So you don't want to go too crazy. Just a little bit at a time, and then back to that beginning point. We'll bring that opacity back up so you can take a look at it. Pretty cool. And you just take it from there. So piece by piece, using your pen tool, straight lines, you just click. When you're curving, you're going to click and hold. Click and hold. So anytime you're curving, you just click and hold. All right, click and hold. Some of you, this is an example of what not to do. Some of you get lazy or impatient or think that you can just do this the whole time. You're just going to click straight lines, and then you wonder why your shape doesn't look very good or very professional. And the reason why is because you didn't actually curve your lines. So you need to avoid getting lazy. Don't get lazy. Go back here. Use your pen tool. Whoops. And if you leave off, you can just click on the last one and then continue on if you didn't know that already. And really pay attention to curving where you need to curve. I'll drop that opacity down a little more and go from there. I'm not going to do all of them because I think you can start figuring it out. Once you can do the fish well, I think you can do all of them fairly well. More a matter of just practice. Clicking and dragging. Once again, if it's a straight line, you're just going to click. All right, not too shabby. All right, from here, you're going to go to, so let's say I'm done. First of all, I'm going to zoom back out so we can see it. You're going to go to File, Save As, Save on your computer. We're going to change this to Adobe Illustrator. You can call it Pen Tool Practice or whatever you want. You're going to click Save, and then that is what you're going to upload to Google Classroom, and that will show me your work. So when I open it, I can actually click on the shapes you've created, make sure you did everything correctly. If it looks like you didn't do things correctly right away, I will leave a note in the assignment comment. I won't necessarily grade it right away, just to give you a chance to redo it. And then once you've had a few days to redo it, then I will start entering in grades. So if you did it incorrectly, you'll get a lower grade. You'll lose points if you just rushed through it. I want to see that you understand how to create curves, different kinds of curves, gentle curves, more severe curves, and also your straight lines, combined in there. And this will essentially allow you to make any shape you want in Illustrator without even having to be very good, quote unquote, at drawing. So have some fun with it. Once you're done, make sure you upload it as evidence of your understanding of how to do this, and then you're pretty much done. If you would like some more practice with this, you are welcome to go to the stream. There's this awesome game that I posted. This is from Adobe. and it's called the pen tool game. If it's not on there, you can't find it, you can always go ahead and look it up. You may or may not have to zoom in to view it full screen, but it's kind of a cool game to check out and explore how to use the pen tool. It gives you some good practice as well. And it's gamified, which makes it a little more exciting. Click escape to end the path, except I'm in the middle of my game or of my recording, so I don't think I can do that. But that will be a really great resource for getting better at the pen tool. So if you don't feel very good at it or you just want some more practice, do the pen tool game as well.